Welcome to the Branch and Bloom podcast. This is our maiden voyage, and this is where you are invited to come, where heritage takes root and families flourish. My name is Christina.
And I'm Jessica. We're a mom-daughter duo. I have 5 kids that are ranging in age from teens down to a toddler, our bonus baby.
And I have 4 children, all grown, all married, and 9 grandchildren, and a husband, of course.
As do I. Also I have a husband. And we are here to just be your friends, to be your encouragers. We want to talk with you like we have you in the room with us. When we have our friends over and we are chatting and talking about what matters to us and talking about our struggles and what the Lord is teaching us through normal daily life as well as chronic illness. We want you to be able to just pull up a chair or do your dishes alongside us or take the kiddos to practice with us in your ear and just walk this path together.
What were some of the highlights of your week this week?
This week, one of the highlights was that yesterday my mother-in-law had family Sunday dinner.
Nice.
Which was such a return to what used to be just such a normal pattern. Different illnesses and just busyness of life. It just hadn't happened. We couldn't all sync up. So yesterday, she always does ham and a roast. It's always all the good country cooking.
Yes. We've been there and it's delicious. We had a great weekend. It's been a great time to be together. We ate a lot of meals outside, spent a lot of time outside.
And we got to have the beef roast
here. Yes.
Everyone was feeling the beef roast this weekend.
It felt like the cozy food, right?
We set up the outside tables with some of your flowers. And
yeah, it was really beautiful. We live fairly close together. We're close to each other.
We live very close together. We walk to each other's houses.
Yes. Jessica is my oldest daughter, and then I have another daughter and 2 sons. And we're very close. We live very close in proximity. I have another son that's about an hour away, and then I have 2 children that live in another state. And grandchildren. So that adds a little bit of complexity to my role as grandma and mother.
You're always balancing it well.
Thank you, because it feels a little bit like, how do I, spend time with everybody? I miss them, but then I want to just love on the ones I can love on the daily. And it's very grateful for the situation that we're in, that we get to be so close.
I know, same. This season, we are digging into the concepts of roots and rhythm, where we come from, the reason we do the things we do, as well as the rhythm of our daily lives and of the seasons. And today specifically, we're going to be talking about the seasons of our lives and the different rhythms that has brought us. Because we're in completely different seasons right now.
Yes, we're in completely different seasons, yet we are experiencing many of the same things. Like, you are taking care of children from 2 to teenage.
Yeah.
And everything in between. And homeschooling.
Yeah.
And homemaking.
Yes.
A very busy husband with a very busy job. I also have a very busy husband with a very busy job, but I am not caring for children in this season of life.
In the same way.
I still have grandchildren stop into my house, or she might have to run somewhere to an appointment, and I will keep one or some of the kids.
We were just saying the other day how the difference in season is like, I kind of know that I'm going to be on with my kids all day long and sometimes night.
Yes.
But you have to have the flexibility to be on
a whim.
Yeah,
kind of on call in a way.
You don't have to, but you do.
Right.
You choose it.
Yes.
And that's kind of what this season has brought you.
Yes.
So do you want to start, or would you like for me to start talking about the season? Do we want to go chronological?
Let's go chronological.
Now, I am not so removed from having all littles in the house. That still feels very, I'm very aware of what that season was like.
Because time flies.
It really does. I know people say that and it's like, come on, it's a hard day. Don't tell me you're going to miss these days. But truly, it does go really fast. And when I had my first 4, they were all between 17 and 26 months apart. And so we had 5 kids. No, we had 4 kids, 5 and under. So we our life looked totally different then. And for you in that season now, it's so fun. I have some of my best memories of motherhood from that season, but it is exhausting, and it requires a lot of you. It requires a lot of dying to yourself, of even like functioning without the basic necessities like sleep.
Full nourishment sometimes. Yeah.
That was also sort of when I had my 4 children, that was sort of when my chronic illness issues kicked up. And so that was also something that I had to work through, which I'm learning the more people I talk to is not an uncommon time of life to begin in this day and age dealing with chronic illness. And so that looked different when I was really well. Things were a little more vibrant.
Yeah, sure.
And so homemaking and just living life in that season with all littles looked a lot like meeting very basic needs for everyone. For the whole day. But then also what's really sweet looking back is it took so little to keep them happy and feel like things were new and exciting.
Yes.
And their problems were really big to them, but they were problems that I could solve usually with food or a shower or a nap.
And everything was pretty contained. You know, you're like, you can all be in the same room even a lot of the time, right? It wasn't this one's going that way and this one's going that way. And, you know, it's a different dynamic altogether. All the seasons are beautiful, but there's something especially tender. And I think it's easy to hang on to those things because it is so close. Everything's kind of close in the home, or you're together. And then they start to branch out.
Because like a huge fun thing that we would do is like take a family walk, and everyone was like, this is the best part of the day. Like those are I think of those as like the wonder years where everything's new. They're excited about everything. Their emotions are big, but they are also, like you said, they're kind of contained. They eat the food that I make. They wear the clothes that I buy. They go the places that I go.
They're happy about it generally. Yeah.
And that was a time also of starting a lot of fun family traditions, which I know we're going to get into in future seasons.
Yes, that'll be fun.
But the rhythm was very home-based when we were all in that phase. Then before I had my little bonus baby, we entered what I like to think of as the golden years of childhood. That like 8 to 12. Like we're like pre-puberty, but like everyone's tying their own shoes and beginning to read.
And there's really no diaper bag or anything like that. So it was
And that was a time of, I think of those as like very free days.
Yes.
And I remember actually the summer that my oldest was 10. And I was like, I think I even said it to Joey, my husband. I was like, this is the sweet spot. Like,
yes, you did.
These are the golden years.
And actually, some of your chronic illness things had already started at that point.
Shocking that I look back and think of that as being the golden years.
Yes.
Because that was actually a time when out of what I felt like was out of the blue, I started having intense panic attacks a lot of the time. My whole nervous system was incredibly dysregulated, to the point that in hosting a book club for my children, which I had done for many years, and I don't have a problem public speaking.
No.
Not that I don't get nervous at all, but it's just not something that I wouldn't be like that torn up about it. I would walk out under my maple tree to host this book club, and literally the pages of the book were shaking because my whole body was just like going into like a tremble. I love that. And I was actually encouraging another friend about this who's going through a similar hard season right now, just this week, that I look back, like where you are right now, it literally feels like everything is shrouded like with this cloud, like it gets fogged. So like this fog settles over your whole life. So when you look at these happy moments with your children and your family, it feels like it's fogged over. But looking back, that fog has cleared a little bit, and I can still, first of all, have a lot of compassion for who I was in that moment.
Yes.
I can praise God because his grace actually was sufficient, even though I thought there's no way that your grace is going to be sufficient here, but it was. I see it with not rose-tinted lenses where I forget about the hard parts, but I also see like the brightness of the beauty that was happening at the same time.
Yes. And I would say similarly, My my chronic health issues started probably earlier at a younger age, really catapulted to the next level when I had my fourth child. Shortly after that, when he was very small, still a toddler, just not even a toddler actually. And I still look back, and that was like my 30s were that was a very difficult decade, health wise. I mean, a cascade of health issues that I had no idea were interwoven. But that was still, I look back on those years as that was kind of our golden era. I mean, they're all golden, right? These moments, this being a grandmother, having grandchildren, the memories I'm making now, I look back on these different times at very golden time. But in regards to how I felt then physically, did not overshadow the happy
I know.
and the great memories and the, we've always kind of lived in the country. So it's been, I mean, when I look at those times, I just am mostly reflective of the seasons and the kids. And even though you were in school, it still felt like we were together a lot, and we did a lot of, and we've always spent a lot of time together. We've always really focused on not too many externals. You did do a lot of extracurricular things, but not so much that we didn't have a lot of good quality time as a family.
Yeah.
But that was a difficult time. So I can relate to what you're saying about, feeling like it's a golden era, but knowing there is still kind of this like, wow, but that was a really difficult season of life.
It is shocking to me that we can go through to date. That was one of the most challenging things I have ever gone through, because I felt like my body was totally betraying me. I had honestly a crisis of faith. And now I know that I was dealing with a lot of brain issues, like brain inflammation and derealization due to toxic exposure, which I did not know at the time. And I just remember over and over singing the song, "When I fear my faith will fail, Christ will hold me fast." And he did. But I like to go through such a really hard time, and then to also be able to have this beauty exist, like in this fallen world where difficulty and beauty just are so interwoven into the fabric of the whole human experience. So now we are actually in treatment for chronic illness. We have a lot of overlap in our chronic illness because it has a genetic component, which we would love to get into more in future episodes. Especially because I know this is becoming so prevalent in our world.
There is definitely more of a prevalence for it. And as we walk through this, we realize how much chronic illness is coming on the scene, and more people are dealing with symptoms and issues, and
they may not have a diagnosis.
Exactly.
But when you look out and we're talking to our friends, and there's this overlap in these symptoms of how we're just trying to trudge through daily life with brain fog and
memory issues and pain and fatigue,
weight gain that you for no reason, and all of these things that kind of impact our day-to-day lives. We are now in treatment for our chronic illness. And we're seeing a lot of improvements. I don't expect to ever get to 100% in this life.
No, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay.
I don't think that we get that here. These bodies are wasting away. We will be given new bodies in the new heavens and new earth, and that is where we will be free of pain and free of anything that's going to hinder our flesh.
I am certainly not looking for perfection in my health. I think that if I can improve, and I have tools in my toolbox now, right? I have tools that I know how to. I mean, I don't always do it, but I know the things that I can do to really capitalize on my health, to improve my health. I just want to be able to steward my health well, but also function well and flourish.
That's why we picked our tagline, "Where heritage takes root and families flourish," because that has been a real big piece for us. Trying to function in a body that's flailing is harder. It just is. It affects all the people around us, especially our families. We are in this treatment. And I am in a season now with, as I said, teens. My oldest is going to be 15, and we're getting ready to sign up for driver's training. And then, my others are stair step down until we get down to our 2-year-old, our bonus baby. And so my life looks very different now. For you mamas who straddle parent, have you ever heard that term? Where you're straddling different seasons? It's different because, like last night, I was up till 11 with my teens, and then my toddler woke up in the middle of the night, and then I've really been trying to get up early to get back into the rhythm of Bible time, just a slow start to my day.
Yeah.
I'm in that season now where my kids are not looking inward as much. They're looking outward, right? They have their other relationships, their friendships. They're sort of beginning that like turn towards stepping out. Even though we're in the beginning phases of that a little bit more.
Very natural progression. Yes.
I actually love that for them. I love people. We are different.
Yes.
Not that you love people too.
I do love people.
I am very extroverted.
And I would say I was very introverted, but life brings you out of your shell, right?
If you let it, yeah.
Yes,
I think, yeah.
Yes. So I feel like I would still be considered an introvert. So we balance each other.
We do. But because I love social interaction, I love it for my kids that they're developing these friendships.
Yes. And some of your kids are extroverts and some are introverts. So it's great that they are starting to branch out. And they've always had friendships, but this is really, you can feel it.
They're just taking ownership. I'm not planning the play date anymore.
Right. Hey, I want to.
They're like, hey, my buddy texted me, can you drop me off so that we can go, ride 4-wheelers or whatever. So, and these are things that are really fun because I loved that season of life.
It's a great season. It is. This is what's beautiful about those little years, but then also these teen years. And it's difficult. It's also difficult. Hormones are starting to fly.
Yes. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to paint a picture that says, look at my family. Everything's great. I just love this. My teens are perfect. No, because first of all, I still have a monthly cycle. I still go like this a little bit. It's way better than it was. But I still have my day where I can be like, this feels very hormonal. And then I have teens who are entering into just that hormonal explosion of the teen years and trying to help them understand, like, you are so capable right now. So pick things to be very engaged with, pick things to be very creative with. Don't sit in front of, ball glove king. Do something productive. Be maybe not productive is not the right word. Be like a creator more than a consumer.
Yes.
But so the rhythms of my days are getting ready to pick up because we start school tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we homeschool, as we mentioned. And so the summer rhythm for me, I love a summer break.
Yes.
That has always been part of our homeschool rhythm. I know some people love schooling year round and taking little breaks in between. I love a nice summer break because then we do invest in different things. And it's my first year with a high schooler.
Oh, this will be fun.
So our rhythm is about to consist largely of morning school. My girls are taking on like sort of our bread baking for the week. They've been doing the bread baking.
I think they've mastered it pretty well.
They've done a really good job.
Yeah. I think, when you have the recipe memorized, that's the indication you have mastered the craft, and it's delicious. They've done a great job.
It's so good. And so then we're kind of moving into a season where it's going to be a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
I always know that things have shifted because of the way my laundry room looks. Because in the summer, everything is just like, yes. And then we start school and I'm like,
the piles.
What happened here?
Yeah, it's hard to get it all in.
But you had a little bit of a different experience when I was a teen because we were not homeschooled.
No. They were all in school. They were all in school just by the day, and I worked actually at school. And so my ideas of like getting back in it would have started a couple weeks ago. In August, I always start to feel like, things are really starting to, ramp up.
Give me those pencils.
I still buy school supplies in the fall. I mean, somebody's going to use them, so I get them because there's something so exciting about that to me. But my kids all went to public school, and then we did homeschool a couple of the kids, and I loved that. I just treasured that season of life, which kind of helped overlap from. I wasn't an empty nester for a long time because there was a spread in age in my kids as well, and so it helped because I was homeschooling, and then she was having children, and then other kids were getting married and moving and doing their thing, so it eased me into that season of life. But when they were in school, it was I was working, they were in school, of course. I was off in the summers, which was great, but it was a little crazy. It would get pretty crazy. And the hormones, they knew when the hormones were.
Should we say it?
Yeah, go ahead. What did I say? Like,
it was always when
the laundry,
the clothes were on the
yeah, it's always the laundry. It was the laundry.
It's because it's always all
and
consuming.
And what I didn't do that I should have done was I did not give you guys enough responsibility. I feel like I should have had a little more, not a lot, but some more expectation.
And it was weird at the time because in that era, I don't disagree with you. In that era, we had like more responsibility than
most of your friends. Yes. And so I was really carrying the load. I was, my husband traveled with his job. And so it was come home from work and
do everything.
And a lot of times there would be, these kids weren't practice and these kids weren't yet, or they had a game later.
And then you're up till midnight doing like homework. And we would always write my papers together.
And she loved to stay up late.
It's not cheating. It's not cheating to write together.
It's modeling, and I think it sparks a lot of creativity. Unless you have a child who really likes to write on their own. And some kids do. They just really.
I have a daughter who loves to write on her own, but she still loves when we sit down and we
collaborate.
We collab.
Yes. That's
pick
what
out words. And
we collaborate. So it was there was a lot of laundry. I would fold the laundry. We had a 2-story house. I'd put stuff on the steps, put the clothes on the steps, or I'd take it even to their rooms, or they would take it to their rooms. And then that's where the piles would stay. And usually a couple days a month. I don't know what the correlation was here.
There must have been some sort of rhythm to that.
I would just be like, I know, but, and then we'd go off to school, off to work, and our day would proceed. And it was fine. I still don't look back at that and think that was the overarching. No. I hope you guys don't either.
No.
But
no.
It is hard to get it all done when you've got kids. So those were great years. I genuinely loved every season of my kids' development. I just thought little years, those elementary age years, the teen years, I just loved it all.
Like, not to paint too glossed overview. Like, I think there were still hard times.
It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. It wasn't, because we
look back and we can say we loved those seasons.
Yes.
But for anyone who's in that saying, don't say that to me right now. I was up all night with a kid who has had an ear infection for 3 days.
Right. Which we had ear infections. We had bedwetting. We had ADHD. We had isolationists sometimes who just didn't want to be around anybody. We had kids who just wanted to talk, and just everything was, and sometimes, and you're one person trying to meet all those needs and make sure your kids' needs are being met according to their personality.
So if you're in one of those hard seasons now, take this as like you actually will probably look back on this and have a totally different perspective than what you might have in it when you haven't slept in 3 days and you need a shower and you've survived off of like PB&J sandwiches for supper.
And you might have chronic illness.
And you
you don't know it, but you just think your life's falling off the rails. Yeah. Or your health is falling off the rails.
But having said that, then you were acutely aware of the struggle in a certain season of life. Which was?
Oh, yes. You mean the transition?
Yes.
The transition to leaving home. It was different for every one of them too, which I'm sure is the norm. Like it was a little easier glide into adulthood. And some, like I would say, some people were like, let's just take a couple snips at the umbilical cord and it's going to be okay. And then others took like a hatchet and just like, done them out, gone. That's not like that now, but the transition was different.
And they weren't doing that intentionally either.
They weren't. That's how it felt to my mother, Hart, who I've been a mother since I was 19. So it was very different for me. I didn't go through a season of I graduated and then I had years, whether that was 1, 2, 3 years, 10 years of just me pursuing life, discovering life as an adult. I went straight into motherhood.
You grew into an adult alongside like us, like you were becoming an
Yes.
adult with us.
Yes. Transitioning into, because I hate using the empty nest term, because I feel like I've always had some people in my life.
Mhm.
My kids have come back. We've had some kids move back in. We've had grandkids close. We've had, it hasn't been like my kids all moved away. And I know some moms out there deal with that. And some moms don't have, it's really not a problem. So I don't want to paint this like every mother's going to have a hard time with it. But for me personally, that was probably the most difficult season of motherhood.
And it hit right around menopause.
And it did. It did. The final chick left the nest right about the time I was going through menopause, and having a lot of chronic illness issues. Yeah. A lot. That's when it kind of all started to ramp up.
You couldn't ignore it.
You couldn't ignore it. But I don't know I think we all just thought it was menopause. I did.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm sure that played a big role, but I'm sure that was more exacerbated by the other issues, because your hormones probably had not been well for a very long time.
Yeah. Yes. And I was pursuing things to try to.
So now in this season, what would you say, what is your rhythm in this season?
This season, the rhythms are very loose. I have very loose rhythms. My greatest rhythms are like just my actual day, my general waking up times, drinking my coffee, my slow start, reading the Bible, my slow start to the morning, where I sit and in my sunroom and watch my birds, because I love my birds. And then, just the typical kind of like homemaking tasks. I love like this. I really enjoy homemaking. I love it. I would say I love it. It does not feel burdensome to me. I enjoy everything from folding laundry to decorating the house.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming still at times, but I still genuinely, like any job, I genuinely enjoy it.
Yeah. So your daily is...
So my daily rhythm, back to that, is really just those morning rhythms, and then getting up. I do like to walk during the day. We try to walk. We live in the country once again, so it's been a little dusty out here in the gravel world. And then a lot of times I'm just available. I'm available to help you. I love to be in the yard. I love to garden. I love my flowers. In the winter, it's a harder season. I have to get creative. And then I do more crafts and creative things. But these are just intermittent spurts, because my husband does travel. And so I try to go with him, I'd say once a quarter. And so I'll be gone a week or two, usually 2 weeks.
And it overlaps because his job is near my
other
siblings
kids
who are out of state.
Yes. So then I go and I visit them. So everything's a little bit, I have to hold on loosely to schedule, and nothing's real regimented because things do change pretty frequently. And then we have other family, and we're trying to enjoy these years, my husband and I, because we have our health generally. And, there's, and we'll get into that later too, but there's other family members we want to go see. And we do have a very transient family. We have across the states. So I am blessed to be able to stay home, and I don't disregard that. I don't want to downplay that, because I'm in a position where I am home, and part of that is by design, because I have always felt there's value in being home. And then also because my husband travels quite a bit, it is more important for me to be available to spend time to nurture our marriage, to nurture our kids, the grandkids, to be available. And then when I can go see my kids out of state. So I don't want to play that like, oh, this is just what you should do, because I know that not everyone has that. It's really a luxury. I feel very privileged that this is the story of my life.
I gotta say,
to travel like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be home.
To be home, no, but to travel like that.
I know there's a really big push now of saying oh, you're a homeschooler, that's so privileged.
Oh,
you're
really?
a homemaker, privileged, because automatically you're wealthy and you have a lot of money.
Oh no.
And I feel like now we're
in a position now at this age in our lives where we can do those things, but that has not been the story of my life.
And for me, my husband has worked his booty off to do well at his job. It has kept up with the needs of our family to where I haven't had to bring in an income.
Yeah.
But also what people don't often see is the times that families have one car,
Right.
or
we're driving
no baseboards,
old
or
cars that really need to be replaced.
oh my goodness, yes. Remember when we had one sink in our whole house?
Yes. Yes.
So like it's a
like
sacrifice.
a whole house, bathrooms and everything.
It is a privilege.
It is.
And it's a choice, and it requires sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, food has always been put on the table,
Sure.
those kind of things. So I get that if someone was in an extreme situation.
It is a lifestyle choice, because it hasn't always been easy, and it's not always easy. And it's just, sometimes you have to be more intentional to, like for me at this age, especially, like to be intentional with having friends, making friends, doing things. Because usually, we make our friends at church, and most of the time you make friends at work a lot of times.
Or with your kids, like events.
Yes, or your
like
kids.
The parents of your kids' friends become your friends.
Yeah. And so in this season of my life, because it's a little bit, I'd say even a little disjointed, my schedules and my rhythms, it makes it a little trickier. However, it gives me opportunities to have people in lots of different places that I enjoy being with.
Yeah.
Not just family, but also other people that I've met, and even friends.
So the rhythm, I would say one of the rhythms that you do a lot is like grandkids sleepovers.
Oh, yes. We do have rhythms where the grandkids will come and spend the night. They're welcome to come one-on-one, or they can,
sometimes the girls come.
But yeah, and the boys will come.
And even when my sister comes up with all of her kids, they'll take turns like sleeping in Nana's room, which is really fun.
And that is sweet. And even my little guy, which I thought last time, there's no way he'll do it yet, but he did, which was super sweet. And had my first sleepover with our newest grandbaby. So that was really sweet too. Yeah. And I love that. I love being able to form those memories with them, and for them to carry along the way as well. Yeah. Yeah. Like, these are the things we did with Nana and Pop.
Every season so far for us has looked different.
Yes.
And you have not entered into like being a great grandmother. But I mean, you still got a lot of years left in you, girl.
I was a young mom, young grandma.
It's been really neat to watch how, like, the way that my kids love, they'll say, did you ever feel like there's just like, you love your own home, but there's just like something about your grandma's house? I'm like, yes, I totally remember that. To be able to see home in all these seasons is so central. For the disjointed times, it's like the home base.
Yes.
When you're busy, it's like your place of respite and recharge. And then it's also a place of like, the hub of my memories growing up are not like Disney World.
Right.
Or even like ball fields or whatever. I have those memories. But when I think of like, if someone says, tell me about your childhood, the immediate picture in my mind is our house and our yard. Because
and probably your grandparents' homes too.
Yeah. And my grandparents' homes for sure.
Yeah.
My grandmothers were really impactful in me wanting to be home.
And they were both home.
And they were both very central to their families. That probably really impacted you too.
Yes.
Of wanting to be a central, sort of like the matriarch.
Yes.
The matriarch is such an important role. And so I really love to see how home kind of takes these different shapes through the seasons, but it's like steady. It's always so steady. So our goal is not to paint the rosy picture, but also to shine a light on the beauty of being home in all seasons, whether you're not married, small children, older children, empty nester, if you're home full-time as a homemaker, if you're making home in those margins of your days, you've been there.
I've been there. And you have to early on. You didn't work a whole lot out of the house, but you did. But she was pretty much...
I worked part-time when I first got married.
Yeah.
And I got pregnant pretty quickly after getting married. And so then...
But you got to feel for like, it is not easy to balance it all out. And so we just want to be an encouragement, because as we have ventured through some of these seasons of life, one of the biggest impacts in the last year or so has been things shifted a little bit when our eyes were opened to what the underlying issues were that were throwing us off track with our health. And
an unwell mama does impact
oh yes,
the taste, the aroma of the home.
yes, it does. It does.
And we don't always get to control that.
That's right.
And it can teach our children a lot about grace
And
and
I think-
mercy. But where we can function more optimally,
Yes,
it is to the benefit of everyone.
right. And flourishing doesn't have to look like everything is just lined out and going along.
You are not talking to some perfectionists
No.
here.
No, not at all.
So each week on the podcast, we are going to have a segment called Stories of Home, where we share one tradition or recipe or memory that you will be able to implement into your life if it fits well with your family structure. And this week,
I'm doing mine. This one isn't exactly in the home, but it is definitely a tradition.
oh, for sure.
It's a tradition that every year around this time, there are a lot of festivals. And there's one specific festival that is, it's antique farm machinery and horses, and it shows like the way they historically would have farmed. There are lemonade shake-ups, of course, and apple dumplings,
Ham and bean
stands, and lots of animals on display, and it's like a flea market. And it's just a sweet time together. And it's been a tradition in the family for years.
It's probably been a 25-year tradition, I bet you.
Altogether, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I started going to this each year. I was pregnant the first year. Now we always take a field trip day. So look in your area, see if you have any fall festivals coming up. Go spend the day.
That's what we're looking forward to.
We're welcoming fall
Mhm.
with the Farm Machinery Show.
Mm-hmm.
So as we sign off today, we want to leave you with a little scripture, a little encouragement, and that is Galatians 6:9, which says, let me make sure I get it all exactly right. Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. No matter what your season is right now, keep pressing forward. Be faithful. We are called to faithfulness. And when we are faithful, our lives will be fruitful.
Thank you for joining us. Meet us back here next time at the Branch and Bloom podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
Rhythmic. That's so dumb. Rhythmic. Telling you.
Share.
Get it, Jessica.
Share.